Mr. Chairman, this amendment would exempt states from the Mobile Workforce Tax Simplification Act that would otherwise lose $25 million or more in revenue on an annual basis if its provisions were enacted. Today, we are considering legislation that is designed to impose restrictions on what has always constitutionally been within the purview of the states. The principle of federalism provides states the opportunity to tax activity that occurs within its jurisdiction. This authority is extremely important, especially when it concerns non-resident state income taxes. Different states impact our national economy and federal tax revenue in different ways that should be carefully considered before we act. I represent the 8th Congressional District in New York. Our state annually sends tens of billions of dollars to the federal government. According to a prior Tax Foundation special report, federal tax burdens and spending by state, New York State sent $23 billion more to the federal government than it received in return in a recent year. This tax revenue contributes to the entire nation, including many states that receive billions of dollars more from the federal government than they send. However, the Mobile Workforce Tax Simplification Act does not take the large annual contribution New York makes to the federal government into consideration. Under this legislation, in fact, it is estimated that New York could lose as much as $110 to $130 million in revenue per year, more, it appears, than all of the other states combined. Even if we take into consideration the more conservative estimation offered by the Council of State Taxation in their testimony before the Regulatory Subcommittee earlier this month, New York would still stand to lose approximately $45 million on an annual basis. We must carefully think about how our legislative measures, I believe, impact states like New York, where we know individuals enter regularly and use our infrastructure, police services, fire services, sanitation, court system, and numerous other resources in order to earn a living. We should then consider what the loss of such substantial federal contribution may ultimately mean for the nation as a whole. If we are going to institute a framework for non-resident income taxes, it seems important to prioritize tax equity and fairness, which is a concept that many in this chamber seem to be otherwise supportive of. For these reasons, I urge my colleagues to adopt this amendment, which would exempt states that would suffer a significant loss from the enactment of this bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Chair thanks the gentleman. For purpose, the gentleman from Michigan to seek recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To speak in opposition.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to begin by thanking